Okay, here's a quick story of something unusual that just happened. We've been having trouble with our toilet for the last maybe week and a half. And I'm married to a guy who can fix anything. If you know him, you know what I'm talking about. Warren has been gifted in a special way from God, I firmly believe, because he can figure out problems that no one else can. In fact, he's called the engine whisperer. He wouldn't like me doing this. He's one of the most humble men I know, and I'll probably be in trouble for coming on and talking about this, but it is a story that is too good not to tell. So anyway, he's tried different things to fix that toilet, and it's working, but it's just not working really well. And so he's tried one thing and then the other, and he just gives it so much thought. He's just always thinking about it, but not. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like it's always in the back of his mind. And so anyway, time went on and nothing was really changing. The toilet was still acting up. And so, you just kind of forget about it and you go on about your business. So he was in the shower last night and I heard this, oh, and it scared me because I thought maybe something heavy dropped on his toe, or there was a big ugly spider in there, or something really, really bad had happened. And I said, honey, are you okay? And he said, yeah. And I'm like, well, what in the world could have caused that kind of an outburst? Anyway, he came out and he said to me, I know what's wrong with that toilet. And I said to him, for that to just come to you at a time when you weren't even thinking about it, I believe that God communicates these things to you. And he just kind of shrugged it off. He tends to be a little self-deprecating and can't handle compliments very well. So we just forgot about it, changed the subject, and went to bed. And so this morning when he got up, he had his quiet time with the Lord, and he came into the room where I was, and he said, you're not going to believe what I read this morning. It was where the construction of the tabernacle was going on when Moses and the Israelites were wandering through the wilderness. It was a place, a temporary sanctuary where God could dwell among them in the wilderness journey. In these verses here, verse 30, Moses is saying to the Israelites, and I won't read every word, but I'm going to read the parts that apply here. The Lord has chosen Bezalel. What kind of a name is that? It's hard to pronounce some of these names, but the Lord has filled Bezalel with the Spirit of God, with wisdom, with understanding, with knowledge, and with all kinds of skills. And then he talks about a person named Aholiab. Here we go with those names again. In verse 34, and he says, and he has given Aholiab the ability to teach others. He has filled them with skill to do all kinds of work. And then he describes the different kinds of work they were doing. And Warren was telling me about that, and I just thought how odd it is that he would be reading there the morning after I had said those very words to him, that God had given him special skills. And it just makes me wonder about the rest of us. What kinds of skills do you have? What is it that God designed within you that you're able to do very, very well, where someone else maybe has absolutely no aptitude for such a thing? And I'm not talking about spiritual gifts, but I'm just talking about skills that God planted in you. It could be sewing clothing. It could be painting. It could be teaching as a Holiab or whatever his name was. It could be a metal worker. It could be someone who's good at engraving. Someone's good at pottery. Skills to do certain sports. All these gifts that people have that encourage them to get out into the world and to bring joy to others in whatever way they can. So, what has God given you? Again, I'm not talking about spiritual gifts. I'm talking about skills. I encourage you to put those skills to work. Go out there and bless the world. Bless people with what you have inside of you in whatever way God has provided for you to do that. Don't feel like you have nothing to offer the world, because you do. You have an amazing Creator. He knit you together in your mother's womb. and He has work for you to do. So figure out what it is and get out there and do it. Let Him pour Himself through you out to others, and go out there and be a big blessing and a big light in this dark world.